Your phone alarm goes off, and before your feet touch the floor, you already know the time, the weather, and where your next meal is coming from. Now rip all of that away. It is 40,000 years ago, dawn is barely touching the grass, and something heavy is breathing beyond the edge of your shelter. No clock, no locked door, no emergency number. If it is a lion, standing up too quickly could reveal exactly where you are. So what did an early human actually do all day? And how did anyone survive until tomorrow? In the 1960s, anthropologist Richard Lee recorded the daily lives of Juṯ'hoansi hunter-gatherers in the Kalahari, giving researchers a rare comparison for interpreting the tools, bones, hearths, and footprints left by prehistoric people. But you are not one of Lee's 20th century observers. You are a Homo sapiens living with roughly 25 other people, and the breathing outside has stopped. That is worse. Everyone is awake now, but nobody speaks. An adult beside you feeds dry grass into last night's embers. A flame appears, illuminating wooden spears, stone points, and anxious faces. Whatever was outside moves away. Perhaps it feared the fire. Perhaps it was never hunting you. Either way, your day has begun before sunrise, and the first job is not breakfast. It is reading the ground. Fresh tracks cross the dirt near camp. The print is round, wide, and lacks claw marks. A large cat passed close enough to hear people breathing. You study where it stepped, which direction it moved, and whether smaller tracks follow it. To you, footprints are not decoration. They are breaking news. By the time sunlight reaches the camp, hunger has arrived. There is no cupboard containing food stored by strangers. What remains from yesterday is divided quickly. Roasted root, a strip of dried meat, perhaps a few nuts. You eat enough to move, not enough to feel full. Archaeological evidence from sites such as Juʿ'hoansi Cave in Israel suggests that prehistoric people sometimes processed and stored animal foods, but storage is never the same as certainty. The group separates, though nobody truly goes alone. Some adults follow animal signs. Others search for roots, fruits, seeds, insects, eggs, honey, and edible leaves. Children come too. Gathering food is also a lesson, and one mistake can mean vomiting, paralysis, or death. You do not need to know the scientific name of a plant. You need to know its smell when crushed, the color beneath its bark, the season when its fruit is safe, and the places where it grows after rain. That knowledge lives inside people. An older woman may carry decades of observations that no stone tool can preserve. This creates the first reversal of your day. The strongest hunter is valuable, but the person who remembers a hidden patch of tubers during a drought may be more important. Survival is not simply muscle against nature. It is memory against uncertainty. Several people stop beside a patch of disturbed earth. One uses a pointed digging stick to break the soil while another clears it by hand. The roots below are ugly, fibrous, and coated in dirt. They are also dependable calories. Among groups such as the Hadza of Tanzania, researchers have documented gathering as a major and often more reliable source of food than hunting. Then someone freezes. Vultures are circling beyond a ridge. That could mean meat. It could also mean the animal that killed the meat is still there. Hunger pulls you toward the ridge. Experience tells you to approach from downwind and listen. The carcass belongs to an antelope, and hyenas have already opened it. There is little worth fighting over. Still, bones can hide fat-rich marrow, and scraps can be cut away. Early humans did not always play the role of triumphant hunters. Cut marks and tooth marks on ancient bones show a complicated contest in which people hunted, scavenged, and sometimes arrived after carnivores. Today, the group withdraws. A meal is not worth a crushed skull. Near midday, shade becomes valuable. The group carrying plants returns toward camp while several hunters continue along a game trail. Back at the shelter, food collection turns into food processing. Roots are scraped, nuts are cracked, fibers are twisted. A damaged spear point must be replaced before anyone trusts it again. Tool making looks simple only if you have never tried it. You hold a stone core in one hand and strike it with another stone. Hit at the wrong angle and nothing useful happens. Hit carelessly and a flake sharp enough to cut hide opens your palm instead. A skilled maker sees a blade hidden inside the rock. Each strike controls force, angle, and fracture. At Blombo's cave in South Africa, archaeologists found carefully shaped stone points dating to more than 70,000 years ago. At other sites, microscopic residues and wear patterns indicate that points were attached to shafts with bindings and adhesives. That means the spear beside you is not one invention. It is a system. Stone must be selected. Wood must be straightened. Fiber must be twisted into cord. Glue may be made from resin or other materials, sometimes strengthened with mineral ingredients. If any part fails when a wounded animal turns, the toolmaker's mistake becomes the hunter's emergency. A child watches the work and imitates the striking motion with useless stones. Nobody hands over a manual. Skill moves from eyes to hands, one generation at a time. The most important technology in camp may not be the spear at all. It may be the ability to teach. The heat begins to weaken, but the hunters have not returned. This is when ordinary work acquires a shadow. A hunt can last hours. It can also end with a goring, a broken ankle, or a person simply failing to return. A healed femur from deep prehistory is evidence of more than injury. A person unable to walk would have needed food, protection, and time supplied by others. Then voices carry through the grass. The hunters return with blood on their arms, but it is not human blood. They have brought part of a medium-sized animal, butchered where it fell because the entire carcass was too heavy. The successful strike lasted seconds. Finding, following, surrounding, killing, and carrying the animal consumed most of the day. Camp changes instantly. Cutting edges appear. Hide is pulled back. Tendons are saved because sinew can become binding or thread. Bones are cracked. Fat is precious. Organs may be eaten quickly, while meat is divided according to relationships and social expectations that archaeology can only partly recover. There is excitement, but there is also a problem. The smell is spreading. By late afternoon, someone gathers fuel. Someone else repairs the shelter. Others keep watch while smoke rises above the camp. Fire warms, cooks, hardens wooden points, discourages predators, and extends social life beyond sunset. Evidence from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa suggests controlled fire deep inside the cave around 1 million years ago, though exactly when fire became a dependable daily companion remains debated. Cooking changes tonight's food in the most practical way possible. Meat becomes easier to chew. Some plants become safer or more digestible. Smoke may help preserve leftovers. But fire demands constant attention. Let it die in cold weather and morning becomes harder. Let it spread and the shelter itself can burn. Darkness arrives quickly. There are no streetlights in the distance, no glowing windows, no evidence that help exists beyond the fire. The night belongs to animals that hear better, smell better, and see movement you cannot. This is the hour modern people often imagine everyone collapsing into exhausted sleep. That is unlikely. Ethnographic research among present-day hunter-gatherers, including work led by David Sampson, suggests that people in a group do not all sleep at exactly the same time. Different body clocks and brief awakenings can create a natural watch across much of the night. Nobody needs to organize a perfect guard shift. A nursing parent wakes, an older person adjusts the fire, someone hears movement and raises their head. Across the group, overlapping periods of wakefulness make it difficult for danger to approach unnoticed. Beyond the flames, hyenas call. One voice becomes several. You cannot see them, which allows your imagination to make them enormous. A watcher adds wood to the fire, and sparks climb into the dark. Yet this is not merely a frightened crowd waiting for sunrise. People talk. A child hears where the hunters found tracks. Someone retells a mistake until it becomes funny. Plans form for tomorrow. Information passes through stories because memory is another kind of shelter. Archaeology preserves stone more readily than conversation, so the hardest part of this day to reconstruct may have been the most human part. The camp is a network of knowledge. One person understands plants, another reads tracks, another shapes stone, another remembers water during the dry season. No individual possesses everything required to survive. That is the answer hidden inside the day. An early human did not spend every hour fighting predators, and did not drift through an empty world waiting to invent civilization. You gathered, watched, repaired, taught, carried, negotiated, cooked, and listened. Danger was constant, but so was cooperation. Near midnight, you lie beside the embers while someone else is awake. The large cat may still be somewhere beyond the light. Your safety does not come from being stronger than it. You survive this day because 25 pairs of eyes, hands, and memories have turned a dangerous landscape into something almost like home. And when dawn returns, the real question is not what you will do all day, but what happens when the people you depend on begin to disappear.